Hi everyone! Want to work on your science skills at home? Do you have a furry friend who is eager to help? During this video, we will talk about the steps of creating a humane science experiment and how our pets can help us find answers to curious questions. We can learn a lot about our animals from watching their everyday movements. Ever wondered why your cat likes drinking out of a faucet? Why does your dog chase his tail? By observing our pets' everyday actions, we can learn new things about animal behavior and our pets themselves. In this video, we are going to show you how to design a humane science experiment and test your pet's paw preference, which is a fancy way of saying which paw does your cat or your dog use the most. Let's start with talking about lateral dominance. This refers to the preference or superiority of one side of the body over the other in performing everyday motor tasks. As humans, we all have one side of our body we use more than the other. This is called lateral dominance. This can be the hand you write with, the hand you throw a ball with, the foot you kick a soccer ball with, and even the eye that you use to look through a magnifying glass. But what about our companion animals? Ever wonder if they have a dominant paw? Use your observation skills and practice designing an experiment with your pet's help to find out. Time to start our experiment. These 6 steps are called the scientific method and are how scientists all over the world design experiments. Let's talk about each step. First, all experiments start with a question. What are we trying to learn? Then we need to make an educated guess or hypothesis based on the information we know. For instance, what do you know about your pet? What would be your hypothesis for this experiment? Next, we need to make a plan. What materials or supplies do we need for our experiment to be a success? Don't forget, lots of treats to reward your science partner. It is also very important to write out step-by-step instructions for your experiment. This is called a procedure. Procedures are important so you have a plan and also so you or someone else can repeat the experiment in the future. To write a procedure, think about how we could answer our question and test our hypothesis. Should we play a game with our pet partner? Ask them to do tricks? Think about what your pet likes doing most and how we could observe them using one paw at a time. Once you have written down a procedure, it is time to make a data table to keep track of your results. Which paw did your pet use and when? Data tables should include what you change and what happens. At the end of your experiment, don't forget to write down a conclusion. Did you answer your question? Was your hypothesis correct? It is also good to think about looking back. Would you have changed anything about your experiment? What other experiments could you create to test your question? Why is this experiment even important? Here is an example of my experiment write-up. My write-up includes the question I want to answer, my hypothesis or what I think will happen, the materials I plan to use, and a step-by-step procedure of how I plan to test my question. Here is an example of how I recorded some of my data. Repeat each activity at least 20 times, but take your time. Your tests do not have to be done all at once. As you work on your experiment, it is very important to watch your furry friend's body language and make sure they are happy and willing to help. Take a look at the examples of cat and dog body language before you get started with your experiment. To view bigger posters, follow the links in the description below. As you will see in the following video clip, Staffy made it very clear he was done being my research partner by turning his back. It is important to listen to your pet and know when they would like to stop. Remember, you can always try again later. It's time to get started. Meet my feline friend Staffy and watch some examples of how I tested his paw dominance. Keep in mind, your pet probably has different favorite games and activities than mine. It is best to pick games and activities they enjoy doing with you. To test paw dominance in dogs, consider observing which paw they use to hold down a chewy treat or a Kong toy. Which paw do they offer shake with first? Be creative. You know your animal best. Finally, write a conclusion. Once your testing is complete, it is important to look at all the data you have collected and decide if it answers your question. What does your data show about your pet? Think about why we would want to know if a pet has a dominant side. While it is a cool fact to learn about our own pets, lateral dominance is also important for handlers with service or other working animals. It could be important when teaching them a new skill, when they signal their owner about something, or even which side of their human they feel most confident walking on. Can you think of any other reasons? Thank you for watching. Feel free to post comments below or email our Education Services Department at the email address here if you have any questions.